Hi everyone, welcome back. And today I am here with another episode, and the topic will be tears, and it's all about cry. Last week I gave a talk on anger, and I hope by now you must have listened to it. If not, then please do listen to it. It's also available on YouTube. You can just go and search Hina Beg and listen to the anger episode. It will benefit you in some way or the other. Today I'll be focusing on tears, and as we all know that we are born with this, and there are different types of tears, and there are reasons why we cry also. I'll be sharing whether it will be helpful or not. That was one of the questions that was sent to me, and it is like, you know, how it is going to benefit you, and what is it that you can learn from your own tears. So there are four types of tears. As I just said, that there are different types of tears. First is basal tears, we all know, and we should be knowing it. It is basic necessity of the eyes to be lubricated, and that is possible only with our basal tears. The moment we close our eyes and open, our eyes are lubricated with tears, and it doesn't become dry and itchy. The second category is the reflex tears. Like now, for example, if you hold anything hot, suddenly you will withdraw your hand, and that happens instantly without you even being conscious. It's because the object that you have touched is the temperature is high and it's not possible for you to hold it. So you withdraw it. That is a reflex action that happens at that point of time. Similarly, in our eyes, like there is a reflex tears that will happen, and that is because if any object enters our eyes, like for example the most common is the eyelashes, or it could be dust, smoke, or even when we are chopping onions, we feel teary eyed, and those are the reflex tears that happens when we are exposed to certain foreign objects. So our eyes, they try to wash away that object and protects our eyes. The tears actually that washes away the foreign object. The third is the response tears. The response tears will happen if, for example, and it's very common example also, that we find ourselves bumping into the furniture part, and it's like we tend to bang especially the little toe, and we hurt ourselves. Or for example, if we are cutting or chopping, then we have a cut, or we burn ourselves, for example. It could also be possible that there are a lot of cramps and all, and we feel the pain, that intense emotion physically. So anything physically happen, that will create a response from our body, right? And it takes time. It's like you will feel for a moment or beyond those moments, when you, unless until you are healed, like. So those are the response tears, and it happens because of a certain reason. Likewise, reflex tears happens for a reason. The basal tears again is happening so that there is a reason, so that your eyes are moist and there is lubrication. Now is the last category, that is the emotional tears. Emotional tears are also known as psychic tears. And when we are overwhelmed by any situation, and we are not able to contain it within ourselves, we tend to shed a tear, we tend to cry. And that is again a very normal response a body gives. Now, emotional tears could be because of maybe extreme joy or happiness. It could also be because you are in rage or you're very angry, or also it could be because of some grief, any sad thing that happened, and it is possible that we may tend to cry. It's also possible that when we don't understand what is happening, and we are not able to pinpoint at a particular thing that is making us so low, we tend to cry. So these are the reasons, and it could be anything else also that makes you cry. That is okay, but here I would like to just say that in this talk right now, I am not focusing on grief. I am not focusing on the process when a person grieves, when they have lost somebody, very special or a close one. So that those tears are not discussed because that is a part of the process of healing, and that is okay. It's like, not to be discussed in this space. That needs another addressal altogether, because grief is painful and it's not a very easy thing. So here it is, we are talking about the emotional tears. Otherwise, we may see in our family, there could be person, there could be your mom or dad, uncle, aunt, neighbor, any friend, any person, those who cry instantly, happy information comes to them or you share with them something nice, they become teary-eyed. Or it is if, they listen to something sad, somebody is unwell or they are hurt or something happened which is not a very good news, they start crying. So here it is, they have a reason to cry, right? They know that they are crying for this reason. That is, the emotional tears are there, and that is the reason. So the grief tears are there is a reason. Now comes when, there could be again, moms, especially those who have young kids, they send them to school, and sometimes you'll find them really very worried if the bus or the child does not come home on time. They are really agitated, they are anxious, and they start crying because they don't know instantly what to do and how to control themselves. The thought process is happening very rapidly. So they end up crying because of a particular worry, the situation over there. Now here it is, I've also put up a video on worry and anxiety, worry versus anxiety. There I have categorically mentioned the difference between the worry and the anxiety. So I will not dive in deeper into those, the differences. Here I am talking only about the tear factor, the cry part. So that is also possible. Now another situation wherein cry is obviously seen is when you are hurt due to any relationship. There is some tiff between, two people, and one person says something, the other person ends up crying. And that is happening again repeatedly. Crying is absolutely okay. It's normal reaction. When does it not become very healthy? It does not become healthy for you as a person because it will stagnate you and bring you in a loop. That should not happen. Because what will happen if you are not addressing issue? Because benefit of crying itself is you know exactly why you're crying. So you will do something about it. And if you're not doing about it, you feel okay because after crying you feel peaceful, you feel calm, you're more in control of yourself and your own emotions because that heightened emotion phase has mellowed down. And you are now listening to somebody around you who can pacify you or who is there as a support system for you. So that is happening. If that is happening again and again, repeatedly the same thing is happening and you are end up getting in that loop of tears and cry and the related experiences that you will have, then it is not right. Because here crying is very good, it's positive, it helps you to be in control of any particular situation only if you know the reason, you do something about it. If it's emotional thing and it's momentary, it's fine. But if it's playing in your mind, the issue part, and you are not doing anything about it, it means you are not actually helping yourself also through this medium of relaxation. Because when we cry, and why do we cry? And it's only because of certain emotional upheaval that is happening. We need to identify what made us cry if we are in the loop. In a relationship, when there is a breakup, or there is, like, those silent moments, the other person not talking, I am not talking, you all are on two different poles and all. Firstly, I would like to say, if there is a relationship and if there is a commitment, then please go ahead, and then it's fine. But if it is not there and you are just ending up getting tired and fatigued out, and you are suffering, that is not right. Why should you suffer? Hi, Zaika. And I will just wave everyone, and I cannot do that now, it's past. Okay, all those who have joined in and who have left also, maybe they all will be listening to this, because it's important. You need to know why tears are important, why crying can benefit you, and how it's not going to benefit you. Definitely, it will give you a positive experience if you have the support system momentarily. It's not the repetition part that is happening. Every time you are crying, and you need people to support you, to motivate you, to pacify you, to make you understand things, then it's like, why should they do that all the time? Especially if there is a friend, you may have heard the phrase, oh, that person is like a crybaby, right? A drop of the hat, that person cries. Now, if it is you yourself will be knowing why you're crying, that is extremely important, because it's taking away your energy, your important priority time, which you otherwise can do amazing work with that energy. So, identifying a reason is very important. Occasionally, it's fine. We can cry. We can also cry, and we have those tears if we are very empathetic. If we listen to somebody's sad story, we may end up getting crying face, like, we may end up getting in tears. That's what I wanted to say. Anyways, if we see some emotional story, if you have experienced in a theater, some auntie will be crying the more they see those scenes. Or it could also be the serials. We see our grandparents and all, they started reacting what they see. Even if they see some very agitated, they'll just start picking up on the scene. Likewise, for the crying part also, they will cry. So that is the empathy part. It's momentary, it gets over. The moment the scene shifts, the moment the movie is over, everything is reverted back. But if it is an emotional tears, that is also known as psychic tears, if it is that part and it's in a loop, you need to be very careful about it. You need to monitor yourself very, very, closely. You should not give up on anyone saying to you something and end up getting in that loop and phase again and again and again. Those who know me and those who have done the counseling with me, they will know I give this example a lot, that you cannot laugh at the same joke again and again. Then why to cry at the same episode again and again? And that too, the other person, and the reason also, that they'll say something to you and you will get upset. That could also happen between husband and wife. The husband says something, the wife gets upset. The wife says something, the husband gets upset. The men don't cry so much, and that could also be possible because of the cultural norms in the society, wherever that person is present. Or it can also be because of the hormone testosterone that is in men, and that inhibits crying. Whereas in females, it's prolactin, and that, helps in crying. Oxytocin is released, all those hormones, endorphins is released. And there is loads and loads of material available online. You can read up what happens actually in crying. But for me to make you understand, crying is helpful, but not helpful in the emotional tears part. If it is in a loop, you need to do something about it. So the tips that I could share with you, the first is identify the source. Why you are crying? What made you cry? What happened exactly before you started crying? Was it any memory that you recalled? Was it the word part or the tone part? Likewise, same thing is an anger. As I had said that tears, emotional tears can also be because of angers. So the triggers for angers can also be the cause of the tears and the cry phase. So they have an interconnectivity. So you need to monitor the triggers. You need to know what happened. And the sooner the better. You don't need to engage yourself in the cry phase alone, because then that will be like a downhill for you, in the sense your energy going down, whatever work you had to do, you will not be able to complete, or you will do it in depleted form that will not be up to the mark or on time. Then it is like you will not like to eat. As I had also mentioned in anger, that people give up on food when they are angry. You know, though the food has not done anything, the trigger is somewhere else. Likewise, when you are crying, then you are fatigued out, you may not end up eating anything. So that will add on to your fatigue and you will be drained out. So whatever, you have to make sense of what is happening, that will be in a laid back attitude. So half the things you will then start forgetting, okay, it's fine, now everything is okay. So that phase will come in wherein you will accept what is now happening is fine. I can take care of myself. It's okay. Fair enough, it's okay. But monitor. If it is happening again and again, like in a week, if you have cried 3-4 times or even 2-3 times, why should you cry for the same reason? Pick yourself up. You need to understand your own mechanism. You need to understand your own personality. Don't camouflage your personality in trying to make somebody else happy, or in trying to control your emotions too much. You can go ahead and cry, be peaceful, be calm, but come back to the cause, because you need to find out why you're crying. So immediately the moment you start crying, and if you're alone, get up, go and wash your face, drink water, make some tea or coffee or anything you like to have, or juice also will do, and sit down with yourself. Just pause, breathe, focus. Is this happening to you again and again? What are you doing about it? Are you letting yourself, go through this repeatedly? Why? Are you benefiting out of it? Or is your personality getting enhanced? Or is your work getting more quality work? What is happening? What is the result of this crying loop, that is, in the emotional tears? So it's like you need to be aware about it. I hope those who listen to this and they find somebody who is crying, their friend or something, please share this. Maybe when they are at peace and in their own circumstances, they may listen and relate to it. This happens similarly with anger also. So the triggers can percolate and seep through to making you feel sad, because after a point you may not feel like crying also. It's like you are then sinking in your own sadness. So before you reach all those stages, the anger part, please see through your own trigger journey. Don't fall for it unnecessarily. As I said, emotional tears are fine, provided you know the reason, because they are momentary. Something happens, you react or respond, and it ebbs away. It doesn't stay for a long time. That is the difference between your loop down the journey, like, or you are getting stuck up in a loop, and the crying loop. That is the clue or a signal to you. Because what happens in crying, either you are gaining sympathy or the support. That is one of them. If it's like a social bonding for you, fine, it's okay, you can cry. It's momentary. You bonded, you gelled, you shared something, it's okay, it's fine. But if it's for sympathy all the time, think about it. Would you like to be in that position yourself? Imagine yourself in that situation. If you cannot, find solution, or you cannot identify what is making you sad, then start writing down for your own self every time you cry what happened actually before that. Just make a note of it for 5 times. When you have cried, you will get a pattern for yourself, and you will get a reason for yourself, and that should be good enough for you to know how to do, or what to do for those reasons, how to cope up for those reasons. You need to then write down, okay, this happened, I can do this. I can move away from that place. No, I can change the topic. I will not be going in those areas. So in my stress series also, Decoding Stress, you will see how you can connect the triggers over there with your own expectation part. Because again, if you have expectation, the other person is not saying or doing something, you are fighting. You're having those cold wars also, and you end up getting crying in those dark moments when you're alone at night, all wiped. Tears are all over the place on your pillow, and you are crying for no reason again. Because that reason you need to solve. It will not get solved on its own. The other thing is like, and it's quite a very interesting thing also, when you cry, right, you have those, you are ready for a Halloween, let's say, you have those zombie looking eyes, red puffed eyes, you have a running nose and a beautiful headache. So it's like when we cry, the tears also enter our nose. That is why we have running nose. So when all this is happening, headache, running nose, puffy eyes, you become more calmer. So this is just on a side note. Why do you become calm? It's like you can't see anything, right? Whatever is happening, your eyes are teary eyes. You cannot listen because now you have a cold, a form of a cold, so your ears are blocked. You have a running nose, so half the time you're just using the tissue paper, and a beautiful headache. So somebody is saying something you can hear, which comes in phases to you, not directly like, a blow to you, because the other person is trying to calm you, so their volume is also a little lower, and you are a little calmer. So it's on a side note how interesting it is. Our body makes us calm, not because of things around, but because of our own response system. So don't be so calm also, and just say, okay, I feel so calm and pacified and peaceful when I cry. If it's in a loop, then it is not good. That peace will take away your own energy part. It will leave you distraught at the times wherein you have to do something very important, because you'll be left with no energy, and that is a serious thing. That is why the boredom will come, procrastination will come, the lack of energy or relatability to work will set in. You will not feel like doing anything in your surrounding. Even for that matter, answering a phone call, you will start detaching yourself with people, and that should not happen, because tears are valuable, and make them more valuable. Celebrate those tears. That is all for today. And before I wind up, I would like to say that yes, when children cry, especially, and I have not mentioned this, they can have manipulative tears also, and that goes on to say for sometimes for adults too. They can have manipulative tears to have their way out or whatever they have, in mind that they want from the other person. So that is all. I hope this might have benefited you in some way. Try to find out the cause for your emotional tears. The rest, three tears, are very common. They have a very direct cause and effect part. There is a cause and that is the effect. That is very, very clear. In emotional tears, again, if it is momentary, you will have a cause and effect. If it is happening for a longer time, you need to find out what actually is the cause that is giving you so much of pain. You don't need to be in pain so much. You all are so amazing. Take care and be safe. I will come up with something more important that I feel needs to be addressed. And this is not about any therapy. It's about only giving you information and sharing with you, because I see this topic a lot. Now also in Quora, I see a lot of questions in and around this cry and anger part. Both are too closely knitted. So be careful and be safe. Bye.